Hello everyone, and welcome to another video. This morning has me walking through some more of these washes on the east side. It's going to probably be a pretty common theme this trip. That's kind of my default plan, is just to see what I can find over here, wandering through some of these washes. It's been a lot of changes since last year. Had some flash floods earlier in the year. This year it looks like they've really rearranged quite a bit of stuff. And the fall color's never quite the same, so it's been kind of interesting and entertaining to see trees that were super red last year. They're not even turned yet, or they're a totally different color. It's interesting. Right now I'm exploring this little bit of an offshoot canyon that I came up here a little bit last year, but not quite as far as I would like to have. So I'm gonna push a little further in this time, and there's more color here this year too. So with any luck here, I'll find something to set up on. So if not, I got a couple other things I scouted out yesterday that I could go back and shoot. But so far today sounds is playing overhead. Sorry about that. So anyway, that's the plan for this morning. Let's see how it goes. I had no idea these were here. It's interesting, I walked past this before and never bothered to look up. I always find it interesting to try to imagine what they were saying, and what they were trying to say with all their carvings. This one part here looks like maybe people carrying children, and some big totem pole looking tall guy. Can't tell in the foreground if it's waves, like water, or hills, like maybe they were trying to draw the landscape. Yeah, I don't know much about petroglyphs or how to read them, how to interpret them, but they're sure interesting. I walked through this very same area of this wash, and it didn't look this good yesterday. It just goes to show how fast these things change. It's awesome though. This area of wash is just beautiful. So I spent this morning just kind of exploring some parts of the washes I haven't been to yet. Places I've been to prior years, but not yet this year. Now I've settled on something that I actually found 2 days ago. This is the same scene that I shot a wider view of, and I was shooting this orange tree behind me with well, at the time it was green, but now it's kind of turning yellowish tree, and now a red one. But now I'm closer up, so I'm zooming in on just one branch of this orange maple tree here. Well, it's orange, but it's got just a little hints of red kind of poking through on the edges of the leaves. I thought it was a really, flies, whew. But I thought it was a really interesting looking composition. I had marked in my notes to come back to this because at the time it wasn't the best light to shoot it. We had really overcast skies and it was really flat. And it's still a really flat scene anyway, but I did come back when we have a little more intense sunlight. Got a little bit of reflected light, so it's just the wash behind me is all lit up in direct sunlight, and that's bouncing light into the scene. It's not a very strong reflected light glow, but that's okay because of what I'm going for here is I've got these orange leaves filling up the center of this composition, and then behind it is a bunch of kind of cool tones, mid-tones, just kind of very muted tones behind it, earth tones. The grays of these rocks look like they're reflecting sky color a little bit, so I expect them to turn a little bit blue, which in this case I think is desirable because I'm going for, the color contrast where you've got a cool background with a really warm subject in the foreground. That's my hope anyway. So I've set this one up with my 180mm lens, and I'm pretty close to my subject. So my bellows are extended about a third of a stop. I'm shooting Velvia 50 on this one, and at ISO 50 that gave me a shutter speed of 3 seconds at f/45. And now I'm waiting to take a second exposure because I started to second guess myself because the light's been changing a lot. There are some passing clouds in the sky, and the scene's been coming up and down in brightness. So my exposure's been changing a little bit. So I'm taking a second exposure, but I'm waiting for the sun's kind of poked into my composition a little bit. If I wait just a minute, it'll pass, and then I won't have harsh sunlight on one of my leaves. Now it looks like that's already happened. So the sun's passed and it's out of my subject. The clouds are helping a little bit, but I got to take away a stop of light because it's gotten that much brighter. So this one, I think I'm going to be shooting at 2 seconds. TBD on that one. I may end up fine tuning that one just a little bit. So, but that's pretty much a wrap on this one. So as soon as the wind calms down, I'll get this second exposure, and then I'll pack up and move on down the wash.
What I didn't say in the on location video is that on the second exposure, I actually decided to use my 81B warming filter. And then when I started to take the camera down, I realized that my aperture had moved. I wasn't confident that I had shot it at the right settings, so I took a third exposure. And it was a good thing I did.
So this has been a super productive area, this wash for me. I've shot one image, and I've found probably about 2 or 3 other ones to explore. It's great down here, it's beautiful. However, it looks like there's some rain clouds coming in. And there is supposed to be a storm passing through tonight, but I thought wasn't supposed to be till like 6 o'clock. But I just felt a couple of raindrops, and I'm not a very good spot. I seriously doubt we're gonna get dumped on or anything, but I think I'm gonna start making my way back towards the truck. Do have a rain cover for the pack, so if I get rained on, it's fine, but I just don't want to be too far away from the truck just in case, because this is flash flood area. So
this was that orange tree in the background of one of my previous ones. And yeah, it's a beautiful tree. I got a couple different versions of this one. Ooh, that one really, really blue. That one's better. So I don't remember all the details of this because I haven't gone through all the video yet. But I'm pretty sure I used a warming filter on it. This obviously wasn't. And man, it's almost purple. I mean, it kind of looks cool on the light table because the effect of the cool background and the warm subject is very present. But it is just too blue. My plane of focus does not include this rock. That's unfortunate. Probably going to be exactly the same in all of them because I didn't move the camera. So, I mean, it's cool to look at, but oof. I mean, yeah, I don't think I'll be using that one. This one, this one looks, it's dark. It's too dark. And finally I had this one, which is correct. So I got one out of 3 looks correct. But like I said, I didn't move the camera, so I'm sure I have. Yeah, same problem. Got some focus fall off in the background. You know, the thing is though, what I was more worried about was the leaves. So there's these leaves here, this red one that's super awesome color looking. I really like the red outline with the orange inside. I think that looked really cool. So that leaf is sharp, and so is the tree limb all the way up to here. So to here it's sharp, and then the background I was kind of on depth of field, and yeah, didn't work. I think I was too close to my subject for depth of field to extend that far. But I don't know if it ruins it, to be honest. I mean, the leaves are tack sharp. And it is a very cluttered looking background. That's one thing that this darker one has an advantage over, is it darkens that. But the leaves just aren't exposed correctly. So I think this is probably a more reasonable starting point because it's exposed correctly, of course. Color looks correct. And I think the bright orange subject with the neutral colored rocks, I think it works pretty good. It's probably a little more cluttered than I would have preferred. But I may warm up to it, and we'll see what happens when I get scanned in. And yeah, as always, let me know down in the comments what you think. I hope you enjoyed this week's video, and if you did, you can let me know by hitting that like button down below. And if you want to make sure you catch the rest of my videos from Zion this year, maybe consider hitting that subscribe button while you're down there. As always, thanks for watching, take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video.